apologies for just cutting you short on that interesting conversation. That is a public lecture that was happening on Friday. So we will just have you updated bits by bit as we go on the broadcasts. Please don't get tired with us, because you know this discussion also that we're having this morning right here is also very important. And all of this, you can always catch all of this live. If you miss any bit of it, you can always catch it live on KUTV News Kenya, not KUTV News Kenya, KUTV Kenya, that is on YouTube. Now, this morning, I am joined by Collince Dundo, who is the CEO, Young Initiative Development Program. Collince, thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
You're welcome.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
How's your morning?
Yeah, it's chilly. Yeah, but I thank God I'm here. Yes.
You're very much welcome at KUTV.
Thank you.
So at YIDP, you abbreviated it as
Yes.
YIDP.
Yes.
As we set this ball rolling, just briefly tell us, what do you do at YIDP as the CEO? What is your day-to-day activity at YIDP?
Thank you, Sylvia, for having me this morning. I'm humble. And just to give an intro of what YIDP is. YIDP is a Youth Initiative Development Program, and we are a non-profit organization based in Kenya. And as an organization, we tend to look at the holistic development for the young person. And we look it in various areas on health, ICT, and poverty alleviation, as well as education. But all these things we want to achieve them through sports. And over the time, I think we were registered in, not I think, but we were registered in 2016. And having an initiative led by a young person, you can imagine we bring in fresh ideas and how we really think the challenges that we face in the communities can be mitigated. So our day-to-day work is to do mentorship, meet young people, try to understand the challenges that they're going through, come up with the solutions, create awareness on the areas that they feel they need help. And we've actively been involved in creating awareness on mental and physical health. Mental health is it's a challenge today, and it's really affecting us very, very bad in the community. And that's why since 2017, we've been doing a lot of tournaments, creating mental health awareness, try to understand where did it all start from. We are not looking at how can we help, like where did it start from. Once we know where it has come from, then it will be so easy for us, or easier for us, to have the solution that can help them overcome. And then we've had a lot of engagement. Like last year, we had our mental health walk in Kasarani. It was very successful, and it brought so many adolescents, and they had engagement with over 10 hospitals that we brought in place, because we fear talking about our mental health status. And now if you mix it up, at least many people will come in and partake of the information, and also learn and also seek necessary support. If you talk about mental health, somebody will just think that you are mad or something. Depression, yeah. So it is okay not to be okay. If you feel like you are mentally ill, just seek necessary support that is needed. And I'm really happy how young people have started perceiving it, and they're coming out in large numbers seeking help. However much the services seems to be very expensive, but I believe we'll have structures in place, and our government will be able to, together with a non-profit organization, be able to mobilize necessary resources and make mental health affordable. And mental health is just like any other disease. Very
interesting. You've mentioned that you launched the initiative in 2016. That is 9 years in service.
Yes.
You're dealing with, what age group are you dealing with?
It's very funny. YIDP deals with young people from 5 to 35 years old. Yes, 5 years. Yeah, so we always believe that when we have a better foundation for our young people, then we'll make them thrive. So if we start with an age, maybe 15 years, how about the younger ones who are coming up? So we understand the community, we know the dynamics of the challenges that we are facing, and it starts from where we all started. So if we started wrong, then to mean that we'll finish it negatively. So if we have our foundations laid well, then we'll be able to help our young people thrive. And we have within the community safe places for young people to be able to be trained, to be able to have people that they trust to be sharing their information with, or maybe they need to seek help. I'll comfortably go to a place and get help or to maybe whichever challenge that I face. And you understand, young people look up to several people in the community. And who are these people that they are looking up to? So we are just trying as much as possible to have this in place, have structures in place. And finally, we are using sports. Yeah, so we are using sports. We've started with soccer. Soccer is a very sport activity which resonates well with the young people. And we are trying as much as possible to use coaches to be mentors, because they are the key people that young people are looking up to, as well as teachers.
You've mentioned community-based.
Yes.
Don't you think it's biased because you only targeting, you said you're based in Njiru?
Yes, that's where our office is, but we have activities in Kisumu, Homa Bay as well.
Do you only target people from, should I say, I should not use slums.
Disadvantaged communities.
Do you only focus on disadvantaged communities, or it cuts across? Because, you know, when you talk about mental health, it's also affecting those who are wealthy.
Yeah,
and how do you get to these people? Because most of them may not be released by their parents if it's a young age for their sporting activities. So how do you get to such kind of groups?
Yeah, okay, majorly, if you try to, at least majority of the people affected, by the way, comes from the disadvantaged communities mentally. Today, it cut across, yes, but we normally get calls, and we are strategically, like, we are having partners that we are working with. So, for example, if it is a case whereby a young person comes from maybe a rich family, but not next to where we are having our activities, then we normally refer this particular person to an institution that they can really get help from. But we are cutting across. We are not biased, like if we are offering these services, it's only for this certain group. No, we are open, but most of the clients that we are getting, I call the young people that we work with, the clients that we work with, they are coming from all setup of life, the rich and also the disadvantaged.
Okay.
Yes.
So cutting across, you've mentioned that you focus on solving the problem from the root where it all began from.
Yes.
So how do you do this in terms of mental wellness training or coaching?
Yeah.
How do you get to train these people? So do you partner with hospitals?
Yep.
How do you do it?
Yeah, so we partner with hospitals, we partner with institutions which are offering these services, and right now we are trying to partner with maybe institutions which can even offer employment, because it is like, okay, young people are there, they have graduated and they don't have an opportunity. What comes in? Depression comes in, and anxiety comes in, and now desperation, like you try to curse those, it's normal. It's really happening to the young people. But if we don't partner with different stakeholders, what happens? Then to me, we'll not be able to help these young people. We cannot do it alone. We cannot go and tell a young person that we'll be able to offer you employment. No. We go and meet different stakeholders who can offer us employment. And also we go and meet and even mobilize resources for training, for entrepreneurship. That's another way of being a you can employ yourself. But again, entrepreneurship, by the way, it's not for everybody. You really need to be ready for it, and you really need to be having necessary strength to be able to withstand even pressure that comes with it. You'll not, for example, start a business today and you start earning, getting money that will sustain you. It has its downs and ups. So if those moments that you have your downs, how do you go about it? So that's what we bring now. So that's just to help them on how they can navigate.
Very interesting. Now, through your 9 years of working with the young people, some of them are married right now.
Yeah.
How would you say technology has impacted their well-being in terms of their mental health?
I'll say, okay, when we started, by the way, we were not so much pro technology. All I say, we started by creating awareness, trying to really understand the challenges that young people are facing within a community. So over the time, I went through having community engagements and also having a bit of the forums. Last year, we also had a summit, which happened at Sportsview Hotel. It was very successful, and it was our second summit. And most of the pointers, or some of the outcome that came out, it's the giant digital. Young people are so much into digital, and it's really affecting our mental well-being. And I'll say we've so much done training, yes, on digital aspect, helping them know what they can do online. But again, we were not so much very keen on the issues of the mental health in the digital space. And through engagement and getting from them that it is an issue that really needs to be tackled, that's why we are having this conversation now. And we are even setting up an innovation, a computer lab at Kayole that is set to help the community around Kayole. And our manual of training really states very well that within the first week of training, a child needs to be trained on the digital wellness, the expectations on the digital platform, how to navigate when you feel A, B, and C. And then after which, now when you embark training this child, particular young person, on the digital skills, now when he meets such a challenge, they are equipped with the necessary knowledge to overcome. Yeah.
Now, you see, when it comes to using digital platforms, especially right now, that parents buy their children phones, or smartphones or tablets or whatever gadget they're using. So some of them concentrate on the phone so much. There's this disorder called psychosis. Where someone disconnects from reality.
Yes.
And it's affecting both the younger generation and the older generation. How do you address such situations? Have you encountered such situations?
Yeah, we have really encountered such situation, and that's why we are incorporating sports in every activity that we do. So psychosis, where you disconnect from the family, you take most of your time on the phone. And what normally happens, by the way, in many circumstances, young people who tend that they have a family on the media, that is social media. But the reality, that family is there virtually. But now when the real life hits you, you find you are alone. So what happens? Now depressions and all kinds of mental disorder comes in. But now if a family or family setup can at least have an engagement with their children and tell them, yes, I have this phone I am giving you, but use it for this particular time. So at least that will enable even their families or children to practice digital detoxification, which is very important. Setting time for this particular time, and this may be certain time I'm going to the field to jump or to take a walk, or probably to go do some adventuring. That will even help you both mentally and physically, because always your eye is a mirror to your brain. And what happens to your eye if you take most of your time on the screen? That blue light will affect you, and in fact you'll have difficulty sleeping, and then your cognitive behavior ability will also, and then your concentration also will be will go down. So once you practice this balancing, or we call it digital balanced diet, then you'll be able to at least to be able to grow mentally and then physically healthy. That's what we try as much as possible to train the parents that are in our program and their children how to go about it and how, yeah.
Now, this is something that is affecting both the young people and the older generation.
Yep.
Does YIDP have plans of incorporating the older generation, like people who are married, for example? Do you have plans of having them on board?
They are already, I'll say they are already incorporated, because the conversation that we are having entails both parents and children.
Okay.
So they are all part of the process. So it's an engagement that it's more of a holistic parents' contribution and young person's contribution. Yeah.
We have talked about problems.
Yes.
Can you take us through various steps that someone can use to detox from social media or using the digital space?
Yeah, so there are so many various ways that people can use, especially, even we focus on workspace environment and now again education setup. So you understand there is a lot of digital revolution in our country today, and it's going to the rural communities where children could not even access these gadgets. I strongly believe that if there are various applications that institutions can put in place to at least have a way on limiting young people on the number of time that they are spending on their screen. And again, also, we really need to make our tech companies accountable, because right now we have smartphones with us, right? And only few smartphones, I think, that have advanced to that level. They'll be able to tell you the number of time that you have spent on your screen. But again, I think that should not be the case. It should be a prompt on the screen, just to alert you. The same way we do to drugs, it's not good for your health. Yeah. And again, education is a tool that should be used. If we train our young people, they'll be equipped. And once you are equipped, you can defend yourself. Yeah, so that's the best tool that we can use. If we train, like 79% of people in professional workspace suffer a mental disorder contributed by, I think they suffer burnout, majorly contributed by the digital fatigue. There's a lot of emails, a lot of notifications. They need to meet certain goals, yeah? But who is to be blamed? Who is to be blamed? I think it should be like a concern that our employers really needs to be very keen on it. And it's something that employers tend to, maybe they are not aware of it, but professionals, seriously, they suffer. They really need to make our workplaces, certain places, digital, I'll call it digital free zones, whereby if you go, boardroom, automatically you'll have a screen for projection. That's okay. But how about dining room, whereby staff will go and meet and take maybe coffee? What's an essence of having a screen there? Yeah, so you find mostly you come from your screen, laptop, and then you go to the dining, and then there is maybe news, TV. We are not practicing digital detoxification. At the end of the day, you have digital fatigue, you strain on your eye, and then what happens? That interferes with both mental and physical. Anxiety and depression comes in. Yeah. So those are the mechanisms. If we can use them even in now, I mentioned workplaces, in school environment. What can we do now to help our young people to navigate through these processes? Is now just making the tech space accountable, let them have those prompts, institutions also needs to be very, very proactive on these issues, so that they have a certain set time for young people to be using the laboratory computer labs that they have within the schools. And they need to also be integrating these trainings within their programs, so that even if I go excessively, that's now it's me to be blamed, because I was trained on the number of time that I should spend on my screen. Yeah.
Interesting. Now, in as much as we are saying there is digital fatigue, social media is making things a mess. As we began the show, I was saying that technology is a good servant,
Yes.
but a bad master.
Yes.
Now, there are good aspects of technology. Like these days, they say that TikTok is the new Google. You know, you can literally type anything in TikTok and you'll find an answer. So how can people harness applications like using AI, using social media, the online universities? How can people harness such opportunities for their gain?
Yeah. Okay, so I strongly believe, like you say, TikTok is the new Google. So depends on an individual. Like, for example, what am I going to do to TikTok? Majorly. Because you find most people will go to TikTok because a friend or someone that they look up to is on TikTok. And then that is, there is the FOMO. Like you may fail to fit in. So if you fail to fit in, what happens? Then depression, anxiety comes in. So what we really need to do, if I go to TikTok, I should know what takes me to TikTok, and I go retrieve the necessary information needed, and then I'm off. And now with the online schools, I really need to know what is taking me to the platform. And I do my research, and maybe if it is classes, and if that is done, then I keep off. So the more that I explore into so many things that are really, it's not good for my development, that's when we go wrong. So we really need to be spot on. Whenever we go to the media, we really need to know what really, and the kind of information that we need from those platforms. Otherwise, that's what internet, all these platforms, they have so many informations. But now how to filter out, that's what matters.
And how can someone do that? The filter, you know, we are telling them, oh, you need to do this, but the reason why they're not doing is because they don't know how. So how can they do that?
You see, for example, you really need to be disciplined. I'll not be able to. I'll give you training. I'll tell you the impact, and now it's upon you now to decide what do I need to do. I'm not saying that we need to advocate for a clean digital space. It will never happen anytime soon. The digital will have all this information, but once I am empowered and I know that what I need to get there, then that's what I will do. For example, if I go to today on a digital, maybe to do a bit of research, then I tend to go to porn sites, and then I start watching all those kinds of video. What happens? Then addiction comes in, and then it becomes habit. Coming out of it will be a problem. Yeah. So before I get into this, I should really internally understand why I need this information, and how you consume it is now upon you. Yes.
Interesting. Now, as you do the digital training, especially to the young people, how do you ensure that they are aware? How do you teach them of cybersecurity and data protection?
So as we do, okay, for example, we know what is happening, the algorithms that are run within the digital space. And today, data is everything, and cyber security, it's key. And that's where people, cyber threats are there, and a lot of attacks. Your information can be stolen. And now we start by having just a small conversation about the importance of having data and the importance of protecting your data. That is very, very key. If a child, for example, back then we used to have people, even right now they are calling. If a child receives the phone, then they'll try to, okay, what's your name? Do you know your mom's PIN? Your mom has won a certain, maybe, can you do A, B, C, and D? And if a child is trained and they know if someone asks you for a PIN or someone asks you for this information, then you really need not to give out this information unless it's your parent. Then you are free to give. But it should be like on a real life, like a physical. My parent is asking me this information, then I provide it because I know this is my parent. But someone you don't know, maybe pretending to be your parent on the phone, then it becomes like, no, you really need not to share this. And again, we also enlightened the importance of having strong passwords. Yeah, mostly adolescents, those who have at least signed up to the Facebook platforms. But you understand, we have parents who go ahead even to set up Facebook account for their children. Yeah, so, but you really need to train that child not to share his password or her password with any stranger, and how to make their password be very strong. That is.
Interesting. Do you think social media has contributed to a surge in cases of, let's say, homicide, abductions?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. Even femicide. Yeah. Because just try to, maybe, for example, maybe a lady meets a man and this man is coming from Nigeria. Automatically they have met through social media or something else. Yeah. And our trainings, we see even the discussion that we'll have during the symposium, how can we make tech accountable, like Facebook, TikTok? Because Twitter or Instagram, it starts from, for example, I chat with a lady, or a lady chats with a man. And all this information is there within the social media. And social media will be able to track all these processes. And they should have like an MOU within the chat. Like, for example, if I'm coming to, for example, a girl coming to meet me, we really need to sign. And if possible, should be biometric.
Okay.
If possible, should be biometric.
That's a big...
Because we have pseudo account. People use pseudo account. They don't use their details. Yeah? So you come, I am Collince, but whoever you are chatting with is Samuel. Then you come, and then femicide happens. Then there is no way you'll track down Collince. You are looking for Samuel. Now what happens? That will just disappear, and Collince will go scot-free. Yeah? So if tech and those, I understand smartphones nowadays are biometric, right? So if it is biometric, I'm coming to visit you in this place we've never met, let me have your details, biometric captured, then we go and meet. So should anything happen like a femicide, then the social site or whichever the platform is allowed to disclose this information to the authority. Now that we know we are looking for Collince, because all the biometric fingerprints that is captured within the platform. So those are the conversations that we really want to have with the AI advancing and technology advancing today. We also, I'm very sure, we'll also advance and reach that level.
Do you think there's a failure or ulegevu when it comes to the government side in terms of accountability and regulation?
The government, I'll say the government, they're doing their best. And with the technology, it's evolving process. It's a process. And then I think through these cases that we are meeting now will help us even to revamp on the policies that we have today. I'll not say that kuna like ulegevu, or we are evolving, and I believe we'll be able to strengthen some of the policies that we have today to protect our young person or young people in campus, in primary, in whichever setup of life. Yes.
Is there a group that has been affected most between those in primary, those in high school, and those in campus? You've also mentioned that you also deal with those who are out of school. Is there a group that from your engagement with them, you feel like this group has been affected the most?
Yes. Campus. Yeah, campus, most the campus, those are 18 and above. And you see, after high school, what happens? You have like, okay, I'm going to the campus. And then campus, you meet pressure. There are a lot of digital work. You need a laptop, because within high school level, maybe you didn't have a laptop. Now you've come to campus, there is a laptop. You really need to do this, and then that's when like you really need to make money. Yeah. So when you really need to make money, what happens? You go to the digital online, and then you start searching. You want money, or you're looking for a job, online job that you can work part-time. And then we have very lucrative links and adverts within the digital. I was a victim, by the way. So I'm talking from experience.
Okay.
And then these and then the qualification, by the way, always meet whichever level that you are in. Then you submit your details, you apply. First thing, they got your details. Another thing, they give your offer. And then what happens? You'll be tempted to go for an interview. And where do you do the interview? Sometimes online. And this is an overseas. Then they'll tell you maybe to go use ship. It's very funny. And again now, gamification. Gamification also it's a challenge, because most of the young people in campus, by the way, they bet. They bet. And I'm not saying that betting is bad, because if you do an analysis, by the way, betting has really helped some young people depending on where they come from. But healthy betting is also very important. Very important. When you are betting, know what you are betting. You cannot wake up just one day, you take fee, help, loan, then you put it in a Vieta, or you put it in any other, all of it in a betting, whichever. Just be
responsible.
Responsible. That was the right term I was looking. Just be responsible, do the right thing, bet, yes, but bet with maybe money that you had set not to utilize in very important cause, like school fee. And then even if imechoma, they normally say imechoma.
There is a fallback plan.
Yeah, there is a fallback plan. But what happens? You invest all the money there, and then now, once it is gone, that's when you reflect. You come from a poor family, and then all this will affect my parents, and then what happens? You die of suicide. By the way, today is not committing suicide, because it was just decriminalized the other day.
Yeah. So how, do you think the universities, management and policymakers in the university can help the youth in such cases, because they have a lot of freedom?
Yeah.
How can they be helped?
They can. You see, like I said, I come to the university, I'm very naive. I'm not enlightened. Then for the first time, I meet such like opportunities. And then they are always very lucrative, like I said before. Then I am tempted, then I get into it. Universities, I think they should be, you see, the first day of freshers, while they are having these talks, they should be having these talks. They should be integrating all these things sensitive conversations in these talks. They should not shy away. It's happening. They should be having these conversations. They should be telling them what to do. They should at least enlighten them, even if when I'll be tempted, before I get into it, I'll reflect what I was told before. Education is power. And and just the other day we were having a conversation and we were saying, okay, even you see these betting firms, by the way, they tend to be doing a lot of CSR, and you'll hear they built an obstacle, maybe they donate some computers or books, but they are forgetting. Betting firms should really focus on investing mental health facilities. It is true. You see, many people, just like I said, mental health is not a madness facility. Mental health is just like any other health. It's normal. Depression, anxiety. And there are these drugs for depression, bipolar. It's very expensive, by the way. It's very expensive. If today you are diagnosed by one of them, it's very expensive. And that's what we've been advocating for. How can we make this affordable? So these betting firms should invest all those CSR efforts in the mental facility. So at the end of the day, when I get into it, then I feel like I am depressed, then I'll be able to get affordable drug in these facilities, which will keep me going. Otherwise, I'll go there, it's very expensive, I cannot afford. What happens? The next day, I'm off.
Very interesting. So you say that universities should incorporate the digital skills to the learners in the curriculum, not assuming that wamekuwa watu wakubwa, they don't need such kind of mentorship.
Yeah, in fact, not digital skills, digital detoxification skills.
Very interesting. Now, let's talk about this symposium that is coming along, the Digital Education and Wellness Symposium 2025.
Yeah.
What do we expect from that symposium?
Wow. Yeah, so a digital education symposium is going to be an interactive symposium which will focus on digital wellness. And we'll have several sessions touching around all that I have mentioned, but I have like digital peace building, which is also very, very important. So we have various stakeholders, both public, private, and tech education sectors and tech. And then we'll be able, during the symposium, we'll be able now to find out the root cause. Where has all this started? And after that, now we'll be able now to come up with a solution. We have several solutions people have discussed, but we really want to be factualized kwa ground. What are these young people saying? And that's what we are selling. This is what they are saying. These are the challenges that they are facing. How can we really grab them? How many people subscribed to digital platforms? For example, online e-learning platforms. We have, by the millions of young people today do e-learning. Young professionals are upgrading their skills every year through e-learning. Do they have safe space within their platform? We have a lot of digital burnout that's attached to that. Do they have safe space within their platform? Even when I am engaging, maybe doing a bit of maybe assignments, at least I should get an alert just to create awareness. This is what is expected. If you feel this, please seek help here. You see, many times I feel like I'm so much stressed, but I don't know where I can get this help. Education setup, now the tech, edutech, within the universities and within the primary schools. A lot of teachers are subscribed to this platform. Even teachers suffer. And today, most of by the way, teachers are young professionals. They are teenagers, most of them. They are around 35, 28. They also suffer. they really need to be helped. They really need to get this information. Not everybody is knowledgeable on how to, or maybe navigate on how to overcome maybe the mental disorders. But once we are getting this information and a bit of the guidance, then we can get help. Other than just taking all and going to Mr. Google. By the way, Google will scare you. Have you ever been in a scenario whereby you have an incident and then before even you seek help,
you question this Google, you ask Google symptoms, you have all the symptoms.
You will have all the symptoms, and that's where the fear comes in. And then now the fear of unknown, what will happen next? And now you are shying off, like you cannot even freely confront your mom or any person that you trust to seek help. See that? So those are the conversations that we really want to have, and we really want to see on how can all this be integrated and how can we scale up awareness. And we'll be having a more of building a coalition to bring all these people together so that they can have this engagement from that day henceforth. Because as an initiative, we may not have the bandwidth and the capacity to scale up all this process. But now when we have a consortium of different institutions, higher universities, primary schools, secondary schools, the tech, now they can have a dialogue and now come up with a strategy that maybe probably will influence the policies that we have today to help our young people.
You can also tell us, you said it's like you're building a coalition.
Yeah.
So that means there are people who are supposed to attend. Who are these people who are supposed to attend the symposium? Apart from the people from the policymakers, who else can attend? Who else can present? And also, how long is the symposium going to be taking place?
Yeah. So the symposium is open to anybody interested to be in the digital space. Of course, the digital, it's something which is all over in our home setup, in our schools. So we will want people to come to have this conversation so that we are all part of the process. Yeah. And the symposium is going to take 1 day. It was supposed to take 2 days, but no, we are going to have it 1 day, an engaging event that it's due to availability of resources, because we are young people, like I said. We are a youth-led organization, but sometimes we look at, okay, if we have it on 2 days, what are the implications, like in terms of logistics? So far we have few partners who have come in, and we were looking forward to maybe another partner coming in so that we can go 2 days, but not gonna happen. We are just going to have it in a day, but it's gonna be interactive, and it's gonna be an eye-opener to so many people, so that we have a roadmap on how this giant can be faced. Yeah.
When and where is it going to be taking place?
It's gonna happen at Golden Tulip Hotel in Westlands on 24th of April. So we just have some few weeks to go. Yeah.
Very interesting. That's around 3 weeks.
Yes.
3 weeks to go.
Yes.
So what would you advise? Any last words for our viewers back at home, cutting across all age groups?
Yeah. So okay. All I'll say as an advocate, and also by there, I have a digital. I am an IT expert. Yeah. So digital wellness is key. So before we get into digital space, we really need to know the implications. We know the benefits and how it helps us to access education, how it makes works flexible within the workspace. But again, we really need to be very, very concerned and cautious on how we use this digital, how we use our digital smartphones, laptops, and all those kinds of things. But whenever you feel like you are facing a challenge, don't stretch. Just go to whoever is your leader within the department and tell him, this is what I am facing. And I strongly believe we'll be able to have maybe mobilize these institutions, and we know where they can seek help. Yeah. So that's all I can say. It is real, mental health is real, and contributed by digital. And now AI is coming, and we don't know what will happen next. So we really need to be very, very ready for it, and by having understanding ourselves, and also knowing when to seek help. Yeah.
Very important. Thank you so much, Collince, for making time for us this morning
You're
on
most
a
welcome.
conversation on digital education wellness. It is very important because, you know, right now everyone is like, AI is going to replace my work, AI this, AI that. Now it's very important to know that sometimes you can have digital burnout.
Yep.
That's for a viewer at home. Sometimes you can have digital burnout, and it's okay to seek help because it is normal. Seeking help before things get worse is better than waiting for things to get worse for you to get help. Now that is on the discussion on digital education and wellness with our guest in studio, Collince Dundo. Thank you so much for making time. Coming up next is a discussion on the newspaper review, but before then we'll have a feature on why most youths abandon their degrees and turn into entrepreneurship. See you then.